Today's conversation is sponsored by the Billy Keels Advisory Program. If you want to learn more about how to make your 9-to-5 optional, just go to billykeels.com/advising. Once again, that's billykeels.com/advising.
You're listening to the Going Long podcast, the #1 podcast for the strategies, tactics, and actions high wage earners need for living an intentionally designed life of wealth and resilience.
Welcome to the Going Long podcast. We're back once again to continue to help to educate you so you feel much more comfortable as well as confident in building the wealthy and resilient life that you're looking to lead and do that even faster. I'm your host, Billy Keels, and I am really excited to welcome you back to another one of our very brief episodes. So can't ever start any of these episodes without saying thank you to so many of you who continue to keep the podcast in the top 1.5% of podcasts, according to listennotes.com, because you continue to leave your honest written reviews as well as your ratings. So thank you very much for doing that. If you need some help, there's a nice little video in the show notes, just a quick link. And also too, for those of you that are tagging us on LinkedIn, on Instagram, it means the world to us because you continue to help to bring the podcast to more people, enlarging the Going Long family. So thank you so much for that. And also too, if you're here and you're new or you've been around for a while and you want to check out some of the previous episodes, just go to billykeels.com/podcast. Once again, that's billykeels.com/podcast. So, one of the things that I've noticed, and this is really in the news today. So depending on when you are listening to this, it may, this is one of the things that always happens in corporate life anyway, but it may be more relevant right now, recording this in the mid of 2024. But one of the things that happens is, when you are a high-paid employee and you dedicate a lot of time, energy, and effort to climbing the ladder, you expect that there's going to continue to be a payoff. Well, the reality is if you're in the right industry, if you're in the right role, and the right alliance partners around you, then the trajectory can be up and to the right forever. There's also a reality of businesses. Big businesses especially, are meant to generate revenue and, more importantly, profit, because that continues to help to keep everyone around. Well, when the macroeconomic environment starts to change or something has happened at a specific company, there are measures that these companies have to take to make sure that the company stays alive. And usually that means reducing costs. When cost reduction becomes one of the big topics, well, usually you find stats like the ones I'm going to talk to you about now. Specifically, I'm going to talk about the high-tech sector, but you can take this across other sectors. I happen to work the last 21 of my 26-year corporate career in high-tech, and so this is a place that's close to my heart. I know a lot of you that are listening and watching, you're also in or close to the high-tech sector as well. So if we think about 2023, there were 1,186 high-tech companies that reduced the number of jobs or roles that they had by 263,000. In Q1, the first quarter, the first 3 months, so January through March of 2024, apparently 168 high-tech companies have reduced their sales force by 43,000. Now, when I say that they've reduced their sales force, or reduction in numbers of people, it's actually in employees, it's people. So in 2023, in the beginning of 2024, a little over 300,000 people have lost their jobs. High-tech jobs typically are high-paying jobs, and you think you're going to continue to go up and to the right. Well, like I said, a lot of times you want to continue to make more money. You want to get the next title. I've been there, done that. And I remember wanting to continue to move up and to the right all the time, and getting more jobs, getting more titles. And at the same time, secretly inside, the thing that I really wanted was to be able to show to my sons that daddy can provide for you. Daddy can show you also how, by working harder, working smarter, you can achieve anything that you set your mind to, as long as you have the activity that goes behind it. Well, so it can be pretty frustrating when, after you've worked 15 years or maybe 10 years, maybe 15, maybe 20 years, and you've done those 12 to 14-hour days, the meetings, you're sitting in there, you're flying all over the place, you're in your car, you've got windshield time constantly. Maybe you're on a train, you're staying overnight in the hotel, you're eating, food on the plane, on the train, wherever. But the hours are constantly going up. You're getting the nice stock options, or maybe you get the RSUs. All of these things, you're working because you want it to keep going up and to the right. You want to continue to make more money and move up the corporate ladder. Well, when the reduction happens because of the macroeconomic environment, or because something's happening specifically to your company, and you start to hear words like restructuring, reorganization, synergies, because one company buys another. This means that, well, all of the work that you've been doing for the previous 10, 15, or 20 years comes to a stop. One day, you're going to get an email or you're going to get a nice severance package. Hopefully that's the plan. And at that point, it's about what are you going to do? It's putting the plan together. It's saying, okay, well, what are the options? Now what? Now what am I supposed to do? And one of the things that I have, I speak to people in pre-advisory calls that are people that are interested in joining our advisory program. And some of the different options that we typically will explore is, and I'll just share three with you, because these are the ones that as you make your plan, you're really saying, okay, well, if you have a severance package or not. If you have a severance package, meaning that you're getting money when you leave, that usually helps. However, over speaking to a number of people, it is pretty clear that the now what really comes down to three things. The first is you're going to take that money, provided you have the money, and you're just going to take some time to explore. You're going to find out more about what you really want to do. You're going to maybe take a year-long sabbatical. The only thing I would say is if you're going to do a year-long sabbatical, just be careful. My year-long sabbatical has turned into over 23 years, 3 different countries, additional languages. It's a lot of fun. Just be prepared when you give yourself 1 year and you're fully all in. The first option is really taking time to explore. See what options are out there, what you really want to do, or you just want to take a year off and then go back to do something else. The second thing that comes up typically is, well, you know what? I've got a severance. I really don't know where to start, but I really want to create my own thing. I want to do something that I'm passionate about. I want to do something that I know is going to give me energy. It's something that is going to fill my soul and at the same time serve other people. And so you go down the track of being able to start your own business, starting your own side hustle. I mean, I've done a whole episode on that. I think it was episode 418. We're talking about starting your side hustle. It doesn't matter what age you are or how long you've been working. There's, in my opinion, no time like now to start your side hustle or to start building your own business if that's what your heart desires. Just know that, yes, there's a lot of positive that goes with that. And there's also, you live the reality of your business. So when your business is going well, things are usually going well. When it's not, or it's suffering and you may not have the people in place, then you're also going to suffer. And so that's just one of the things that you want to keep in mind at very, very high level. Like I said, you can go check out episode 418, I believe, talking about the side hustle and starting whenever. And then the third option is, well, you know what? I'm just going to go look and work at a competitor, provided that the competitor is hiring. Most competitors are looking for high achievers in other companies because, well, you usually have the network and you usually have the competency and you have the expertise and you don't need a lot of babysitting, for lack of another word. So when you do that, just also be prepared that it's doing more of the same. Provided that you liked what you were doing before, then you should be pretty happy. It's just changing one color t-shirt to another color t-shirt to probably do the same thing and hopefully making more money. But those are the three real options. It's one is to look and, just take some time off, just relax, just get to know yourself a bit more. Maybe it's the time to start to look at building your own thing. If you've been building your own thing on the side for a while, maybe this is now the moment to accelerate and do more of that. And maybe it's just as simple as going to work for a competitor. Who knows? But the thing is it's not the end of the world. If your number's called, and even if you're not, when I say when your number's called, meaning that you are fired from your cushy job, well, when you ask yourself the question, now what? Those are three very simple ideas that you can explore to make your life a little bit easier so you're not completely stressed. And as you make the decision, well, it's just a matter of being able to enjoy the decision that you made and live that out. So, as you think about these three options, like I said, usually if you don't have at least something to look at, you can think that the getting the pink slip or getting that email that you dread that says this is your last day of service, you think it's the end of the world, but it really isn't. It's providing you new opportunities to explore new options. And at least you can start with these three options. I'm sure there's others. I mean, if you have others that you want to talk to me about, connect with me on LinkedIn, let me know. And I'd love to, explore those options and talk about them maybe in a future episode. So, but listen, and also too, if you know somebody who's just recently gone through this and you think that this could be a helpful podcast, episode, send it over to them, share it with them, and get on the phone to have a conversation with the person and see how this podcast can help them move in the right direction. So while you are sharing and caring, I'm going to be here preparing for the next episode, brief episode. So until then, go out and make it a great day. And thank you very much. Today's conversation was sponsored by the Billy Keels Advisory Program. If you're looking to make your 9-to-5 optional and need some help, just go to billykeels.com/advising. Once again, that's billykeels.com/advising.